Have you heard the saying by Benjamin Franklin, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail? Well, when it comes to healthy eating, planning is super important and something we work with a lot with our clients. But just like anything else, there is no one size fits all when it comes to planning, and we're going to help you with that today.
Hair versus shorts. Also, eating too much processed sugar.
So, hi, I'm Stephanie and I'm here with Jane. We're the Nourishing Gurus, and in case you don't know us, we help women over 50 stop yo yo dieting and feel good in their bodies again. So, if you want more info on healthy living after 50, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell so you'll be notified of our new videos. So, are you ready to talk planning? Just like diets or exercise or even decluttering, if it's too overwhelming or too regimented, it can be hard to stick with it. So let's take exercise, for example. If you say to yourself, all right, I'm going to exercise every day, and then you miss a day, so you decide to throw in the towel. Or maybe you just get burnt out just from doing it so much. When it comes to dieting, we see women say all the time, all right, they're going to cut out all forms of sugar, and then sometimes they'll be somewhere and they'll have a piece of cake or cookie and say, oh, I've just totally blown it. Well, the same goes with planning. If you tell yourself you're going to be a super planner and take a few hours every Sunday to prep your food, you see those beautiful Instagram posts or YouTube videos that just, it looks amazing and inspires you. So you say you're going to do that. But then what happens, depending on your personality or lifestyle, well, it could go one of two ways. It could be amazing, or on the other hand, it could get overwhelming really fast. And it might drive you back to old habits of not planning at all. So also, we often hear from clients, well, in fact, I just heard this the other week. I made out my plan, but then when Wednesday came around, I was supposed to have chili and I didn't want chili. So I just ended up ordering out. So we also hear things like the idea of planning and prepping is just overwhelming and annoying and it just pisses me off. So don't feel bad if you can relate to the second. Planning is different for everyone. There's no one size fits all. And we would love to hear from you whether you plan out your meals and if so, how often. So let us know in the comments below. But let's start by breaking this all down a bit. First off, think about all the different aspects of planning. So there's coming up with your meal ideas for the week. There's doing the actual prep ahead of time, like batch cooking. There's making sure your kitchen is stocked with all the right food, having good recipes, a good shopping list, the kitchen tools to do what you need to do, and of course, good containers for leftovers.
All right, well, that might sound like a lot. So since we are all about simplifying things, we put it into a formula for you. So number one, the first part of the formula is what you absolutely have to do, plus what you can reasonably see yourself doing long term. So let's break this down. The first part of the equation is what you absolutely have to have to have long-term success. And that is at the very least, what's critical for long-term success is to have a well-stocked kitchen with the basics and recipes that support your goals that are not difficult to make and don't take up a lot of time. For example, in our Simply Nourished program, we have our participants come up with 3 go-to meals they can make in a pinch. This is so helpful. So that's something you can practice too. Another good option is to find a local takeout that's healthy or even backup frozen meals from a really good company like Daily Harvest or Nutrition for Longevity, and we will link to those below. Okay, now for the second part of the equation. What can you see yourself doing long term? Step back and look at your strengths, your personality, and your overall lifestyle. So for instance, if your strengths include planning and organization, then being super organized on a Sunday and prepping for the whole week is like, man, that's right up your alley and it's going to work for you and you're going to thrive doing that. We actually know a lot of teachers who are used to making lesson plans and have that plan ahead mentality, so that works great. We also have clients that are really creative and love to cook, so we have them use that as an advantage. They may enjoy making some recipes that require maybe a little bit more time and effort, but take that creativity and put it towards the kitchen and create some really healthy meals. On the other hand, if you tend to be more rebellious, you might get mad or annoyed or resentful being home on a Sunday prepping. And that's not good. How long is that going to last? So maybe you'll do that for a week or two and then just abandon it and not do anything. If you relate to that more, then you're going to need to have some flexibility built into your no plan plan. Or maybe your lifestyle is not conducive to spending a chunk of time each week for longer meal prep. So you just have to take that into account. Again, take stock of what your personality, strengths, and lifestyle are and be honest with yourself. And then decide what kind of planning makes the most sense. Start with the first part of the equation, which is the same for everybody. Stock your kitchen with healthy foods that can go in many different recipes and gather a handful of quick, easy recipes. We are going to share a bunch of those in the link below. And then address part two of the equation. That's where everybody's differences come in. If you're a planner and organized, this is going to be easier for you. If you're a planning rebel or planning challenged, hold on, we're going to get to you in a minute. For the planners out there, again, just pick 1 or 2 days of the week to prep, do a bunch of batch cooking, protein, starches, veggies, cut up some fresh vegetables. We're going to have some more in-depth videos on this, so stay tuned for that.
However, if you aren't into the planning scene, start with a few of these ideas. First, AME. What's that? Always make extra. Cook once and you can eat it 2 to 3 times. There's not much effort that goes into doubling a recipe or even tripling it. And then you'll have leftovers. We love our leftovers, or you could freeze them for another time. Then simplify. Don't make it more complicated than it has to be. Meals can be super simple and still tasty. So go back to part 1 and have what we tell our clients, get 3 good, easy fallback meals that save you time, but also save you from ordering pizza or takeout. And write these down, memorize them, keep them handy. And also think outside the box. If you have a box or a bag of leafy greens, don't let them go bad. We hear from women all the time saying, oh, my greens always go bad. But you can throw them into anything. It doesn't have to be just a salad. You can toss mixed greens into soups, stews, sauces. So don't let those greens go bad.
Now, speaking of greens, keep in mind that a salad doesn't have to be leafy vegetables. We can cut up broccoli, cauliflower, zucchini, peppers, just chop them up and make a chopped salad. Get a great dressing going, and that makes everything better. You can pre-vet restaurants or takeout places, like we mentioned before, where you can get really healthy options. You can start a new habit of thinking just 1 day ahead, and that way you can take something out of the freezer or pick up a possible missing ingredient on the way home and also have an idea of how long you're going to need to make the meal. Just knowing in advance what you're going to make takes a lot of pressure off it and reduces decision fatigue. So we always say, go for better, not perfect. Just taking a few steps towards some sort of planning is going to make a big difference. And again, we're going to have more videos around this topic of planning, so please stay tuned. Thank you so much for listening. We hope this has enlightened you to how important it is to plan without making it more complicated than it has to be. And if you liked what we said, be sure to give us a like, a thumbs up, and share this with your friends who can benefit from this information.